No, I always taste it. If it's mud, well, then you tasted mud, and that's a bummer. But if it's chocolate, oh, that's a good day. Chocolate. Hi, I'm Dan Humke, and these are the coolest things that I've built as the tech director at Curious Comedy Theater in Portland, Oregon. Before we begin, can I just say that you smell wonderful today? Kind of like chocolate.
The sound effects panel. This is a pretty typical sound effects board with a couple of surprises. First, because it's built in the QLab workspace, I can use random group cues to make multiple sounds come out of the same button. In some cases, these buttons can also affect each other. The dynamic pre-show slide reel. Since I run the pre-show slides from QLab, I can give every slide a little bit of movement. In some cases, that means HD video that we've recorded in the theater with text layered over the top. But mostly, these are slides that I've put together from PNG images with transparent backgrounds, so I can layer them and give them movement. Here are some examples with quick demos of how they're built. The live scoreboard. Curious Comedy's flagship show, called Showdown, is a semi-competitive short-form showcase, and as such, we need a scoreboard that the audience can see.
Was it a 1, a 2, a 3, a 4, a 5? That is a 5! I'm also going to give Chris a point for not standing on the chairs because Dan would have been mad at him if he did. Excellent. All right, good job, you guys.
We found a Flash-based scoreboard on the back end of a programmer's website. His name is Matt Ricks, and you should definitely check out his work. And we just run this out of a web browser during the show. To get the scoreboard up to the big screen, we use a program called Screen Capture Siphon. We crop the scoreboard, and Siphon exports that area as a webcam signal, which QLab recognizes and can send to a video surface. Smart Spotlight Controls. At Curious, we record HD video of most of our shows, and these cameras aren't as adaptable as the human eye to changes in light intensity. Meaning, if the full stage washes up, and I also turn on a spotlight, anyone standing in that spotlight will look really blown out because it's more light than the cameras are calibrated to record. Since I do a lot of fast light switching during short-form shows, I built this control to make it easier for me, or any volunteer that might be running tech, to use the spotlights without having to do the math on what the cameras are seeing. Here we are at full stage wash. The spotlight buttons inversely activate the spotlight and stage wash, so the two are never on at the same time. They crossfade automatically. I can turn on multiple spotlights, and as I turn them off, the stage wash will not come back on until all of the spotlights are deactivated. All of this is accomplished in QLab 3 without any scripting. Wiimote show controls. Occasionally, I have to run down to the stage to perform or host, but I'm still responsible for show tech, and when that happens, I use a Wiimote to control basic show functions. My Wiimote connects to a program called Oscillator, which receives Wiimote Bluetooth signals and outputs configurable MIDI signals, which are received by QLab. Functionally, I can assign Wiimote buttons to QLab cues as if the Wiimote was a MIDI device. Another cool little function on the Wiimote is the sound effects selector. I have 5 sound effects that I regularly use while hosting, which I've condensed down to 2 buttons, a selector button and an activation button. Tap the selector button once, tap the selector button twice, tap 3 times, here's number 4, and number 5. Tap it once, and it takes me back to the first sound effect. All I have to do is remember which sound is in which slot, and I can arm it with button taps. Speed round. This playlist selector. Arm a playlist, push the button, get a random piece of music from that playlist. These low-profile stage monitor mounts. A simple stage-facing teleprompter controlled by QLab. The balcony bar, butcher board on top, plywood on the bottom with a comfortable bevel. A backboard that's too tall for someone to accidentally push a glass off the balcony. A kick plate made out of wood from the old bar I replaced that keeps audience members from putting their feet up on the banister wires. Dance Party Freeze, synchronized music and lights for a short-form game.
Kyle and Jason. All right, dance. Praise.
Movie posters for a medium-form improv format called Director's Cut. I build 3 of these simultaneously in about 15 minutes, and then add to them as the scenes get more detailed. Just like the slideshow, I pull PNG images with transparent backgrounds off Google Image Search and add text with QLab. Big thanks to Luke Zwanziger for helping me shoot this video. Luke is the video mastermind at Curious Comedy, as well as a performer. He's live switched and edited most of the content you'll find on the Curious YouTube channel. Thanks also to Chase Padgett, who drew my attention to a lot of the hardware and software I use every day in the booth. Thanks for watching. I'm Dan Humke.